All right, pull it up and let's see how it's looking. Let's look at.
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at.
Yeah.
All right. You're gonna go on that side. Oh, okay. All right. So therefore, we had to make sure nobody in here in the live stream, otherwise it will just cause feedback like a crazy person. All right, but I just want to know if what you see is what I see in there.
Yeah. Okay. So go on.
Yeah, you can turn your volume down all the way now.
All right.
Right, so what you're seeing is what's on the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me just zoom in a little bit on this side. Go on, go on. All right, a little bit of clear up this little detail. Come on, good there. Goodish. Right, I will do. I will do before charging one time. So I can monitor a little bit. Right, now how to staple things. Top shots. Three watching. Who's that? Yumi and this, I think. This was next me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you did good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Save it afterwards. Crap, I can't go down to my resolution though. Let me to go down to reply.
Oh. Your phone.
What's that?
You probably get your phone.
I don't know. Chat publicly as Christopher. Crap. Yeah, guys, sorry. Yeah, to those watching RL, sorry. This is my first time going live. I'm just trying to work out some of the bugs here. Sorry if I seem like a real noob. Alright. Channel videos. Let's see if I refresh this, what's gonna happen. Oh, okay, no, live. Let's go here first. Live stream. Alright, let's see what this is then. Press escape. Oh, play. Okay, nope, no we can. Fun times. Let's go here. Alright. Okay, here we go. Chat, say something. Okay, I think I have it here. Alright, sorry about that. So right now everything has been accounts. Good morning everyone. I will try my best today. Thanks for joining in. Oops, open the gate. Oh, okay, I took up the wrong thing. I don't know what I want to play it. Okay, morning. In the fridge. There is water in the fridge. Yeah, guys, so we live on YouTube, by the way.
CCD, right?
What's that?
The camera. See it?
At the bottom of the screen there?
No, yeah, sure.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, shucks, yeah, the screen, in the screen. Ooh, alright, cool. Let's put that on and see what happens. Let's just see if we could just open them. Anna, come on. Sorry about you guys. Morning, Sarah. How you doing? Alright. Thanks. Alright guys, today in the morning session we're tackling bank recs. This afternoon I'm hoping to tackle some errors. I just have to make sure the printout is fully prepped for you all. So that noise boy. Cars in the road. So I'm onto the chat. I'm onto the chat boy. Alright guys. Oops, okay. Staples done.
I don't know. It was the other one. It was so long that when I was down, I forgot everything.
Was that art?
Yes.
Was it? I hear some other elephant. What was the story, elephant boy?
It's like describing an elephant, and then apparently it was about like a homeless man or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it was open to different interpretations. That's what you're saying, essentially. Alright. Everybody noise, guys. Right, so let me see how long has this been on. Raquel, we on for about 20 minutes, but class didn't start yet. Hey, Kyle boy, what's going on? Oh yeah, okay, cool. So I had to pop out of here because all I've seen is this madness. Right. We will start in a bit, guys. We're waiting on some more students to reach. So whenever I'm talking to myself, actually live on YouTube. Yeah, so I'm not going crazy. I mean, I went and I come back and I applied for dual citizenship. So. Yeah, Kevin, no problem. You're most welcome. I hope it's helpful. I'm gonna try it first time I'm doing it, so I have not practiced this live thing, so it's just a work of the logistics. But you know, it's a learning process as I go along. At the fridge, you know, one of those. Anyone from Guyana? Take a roll call now. Ready for Monday. Well, you're really only going to know if you're ready when the exam comes. Right, that's the only way you're going to know if you're ready. Unless you memorize the whole syllabus. And even if you still had to wake up, you're going to get to the exam on time. Ten or 9, boy. No, I have a bag tie. Which one you prefer? Yeah, I agree. I'll copy short. Drink clean water. Not very much. Early morning, early. See what the chat's saying. When you go through the syllabus, I'm not sure what you mean by that, buddy. Yeah. We're doing bank recs, but streaming live too.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh. How many people there?
Oh?
How many people there?
7. I go with that to know. What's that? I've been live since 9:45. I am going to be live until class is over.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chelsea.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's 10:12. Alright, we get them a few minutes again to reach, guys. Oh Lord. How are you feeling? How was lit?
Lit was lit.
It was lit.
Chris, they brought 2 poems. Elephant and water.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Elephant?
The elephant was the easiest poem one at a time. It was a comparison between the homeless and the elephant. It was describing into symbolic. You all
Where did you get a homeless man?
I want to see this.
It was a comparison between the human man and because I guess it's symbolic of him being alone in the world out there.
Chris, poem start.
Mhm.
Elephant wrenching a tree.
The elephant was doing what?
Wrenching a tree.
The elephant was wrenching the tree?
About the mother,
Uh-huh.
she was like, when the tree branch and whatnot. And
Wow.
then
Chris,
they did about that.
Uh-huh.
that one was.
It was not shit.
I didn't feel that. It really was. I didn't feel.
Uh-huh.
You need to open your minds. It's not shit. Oh God.
You don't take.
I apologize for the profane language.
He's alive. My name is Chelsea and I'm the graduate.
You need a grad date? That's what you're doing? You're pimping yourself out on YouTube?
No, I'm to graduate.
You need to graduate, alright. I like that
I'm
focus.
just cuffed by everybody that is married. I'm beat up my
You
friend.
have a friend.
This is all horrible.
This is my class on a daily basis. Alright.
Like a low 1 or a high 2.
A low 1 or a high 2?
No, what does it say? A low
Um,
high 2. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know. That's just it. I'm gonna put up the atmosphere.
Alright, Kelly, talking about lit?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, Chelsea Kevin Singh says hi. Chelsea.
Yes.
That's how you spell my name, Kevin. But hell.
Who's that girl?
Kevin from Guyana, you flying him in? For your grad date?
So,
Chris,
you have to pay for your own ticket, though, Kevin. Because
I had some dumb invigilators.
450.
You had dumb invigilators? Why you had dumb
He looked into
invigilators?
my paper and asked me what a contrast was.
The invigilator asked you what a contrast was?
Yeah.
see.
You know the guy who was saying airports, isn't it? That guy? Yeah.
Wait, he had AirPods in while he was invigilated?
Yeah.
Alright.
He wasn't listening to music. He just playing on the side. Yeah. He just AirPods like all of us. And he come up to me like, what a contrast. I was like, he didn't do this exam
Alright, you sure? You're looking harassed.
Yeah.
Social and harassed here. Or just
oh, it's
social?
delayed.
Yeah, have a slight latency, of course. Alright guys, it's 10:15, so it's not like you're gonna that's
Of course.
very great.
Anything to do to pass people.
Wait.
Oh, they're great. I know I am.
Chris, you know, Chris is like, people.
Back it up. Do I need my extension cord, boy? My stop.
Only 2 points. I don't think it's that much.
No, it was good for really hard. And I was sitting in like a good 15 minutes. And me invigilator was like 45 minutes after.
Plus, we lost like 10 minutes in the beginning because everybody was talking.
And what the invigilators are meant to break down start getting vexed and jump around.
I think you have to embrace change.
Alright guys, I think I'm ready to start. Okay, so good morning to everybody. We are at Saturday, the exam is Monday, so we have just a few I can't stand up for this extension, sorry. Yeah, so we have just a few sessions again, right? After that you're done with PoA, unless you decide to do CAPE accounting. Alright? What's that, sorry? Depends on which unit. Well, Fatima is currently doing Unit 2, so they're probably going to be doing Unit 1. No, I lied, they're doing Unit 1. The lower 6 in Unit 1. Because a bunch of them were supposed to come back for Unit 2 in September, but I ended up doing Unit 1. So one guy who thought I was Unit 2 left to go somewhere else. So come September, I will probably be doing Unit 2, as well Fatima, at least upper 6. Right, I can't guarantee what else they're going to be. What's that? SJC right now? Or come September? No, come September, because they're doing Unit 2 right now. Right, yeah, okay. Alright. Okay guys, so I thought today we would go over some bank recs in some more detail. We touched on a couple of questions last week, Thursday. So I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page and we all understand what's going on. Right, so for those on the live, thanks for joining. Right, you're going to have to follow on what's on the screen. Okay, so, like I said, a bank reconciliation statement. So first of all, how do we classify bank? Bank is a what to us? Bank is an asset. What are your double entry rules for assets? Debit to increase, credit to decrease. Okay, cool. Do we keep the money in our bank account physically with us at our premises?
No.
No, we don't. That's the correct answer, right? Where is it kept? In a bank, right? What are some banks in Trinidad? RBC, Republic, Scotia, FCB, First Citizens. I think they had Bank of Baroda at one point in time, Intercommercial Bank. JMMB, yeah, correct. Okay, now, our money at the bank, does it belong to the bank? No, it doesn't, right? But guess what they do with it? They lend it out as loans and make money off of our money, right? So the thing is, but if we go and ask them back for our money, do they have to give it back to us? No?
Yes.
But it's not their money. Whose money it is? It's our money, right? So yeah, they have to give it back to us. So if the bank owes us our money, the money they physically have is not theirs, they owe it to all of the depositors. How would the bank therefore classify that money? As an asset for them or a liability? A liability, right? What are your double entry rules for liabilities? Credit to increase, debit to decrease. That's the right side? Oh, right, sorry, I'm mixing up my sides. Credit to increase, debit to decrease. One of them, whatever, right? Now, how do we keep track of our bank, our money in the bank? What book do we use? What account? The bank account? Or what's the book of original entry? The cash book, that's correct. Okay, so we have, let me just zoom in a little bit so everybody can see what's going on here, right? So we have a cash book, all right? Now, like we said, our money in the bank account, our money in the bank, right, is kept by the bank. So we keep track of our money, and the bank obviously has to keep track of our money too. And at the end of every month, they will send us a bank statement, right? Now, back in the day before internet banking, you used to, well, even today, in the mail, they'll send you a physical hard copy of a bank statement. All right, but of course, in today's day and age of technology, you can simply go, well, once you've arranged it with your bank, you log on to your bank account and you pull up your statements, right? So the information is available 24/7 at your fingertips, right? But the thing is, sometimes there'll be things that we will know about that the bank will not, and vice versa. There'll be things the bank will know about that we will not, right? Case in point, the question Ruby Brown. So we start off with our cash book, having a balance of 1,000 at start, and you have some payments. So the debit side is the receipt side, you have money coming in, and the credit side is the payment side. This is just check number, don't worry about that. These numbers are not overly important to the balancing, right? So here, you have all the payments going out. Now, this balance is what? What is this figure here? 320. All right, if we scroll down now, the bank statement. So this is what the bank sent us regarding how much, well, what happened to our money with them, right? So it started with the same 1,000, right? So remember up here, we had a balance of 1,000 at start, and in the bank statement, they have the same 1,000. So that's the first thing to always check for. Make sure the opening balance in both statements are okay. Now that's assuming you have this presentation. There's another presentation which we'll get to in a while. But what's the balance down here? What is this number here?
925.
925. Is that the same as 320?
No.
No, so something is wrong, right? Us, the company, and the bank can't be keeping track of the same item and have two different balances at end. The only way that could happen is especially if we have the same balance at start. So if we have the same balance at start but different balance at end, obviously the inflows and outflows have to be different, right? So what we have to do is we have to inspect and compare the entries in the cash book with the entries in the bank statement. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, so if you all have like different color pens or you have a pencil, whatever the case is, that's what we're going to do. All right. So let me just, a partner of mine showed me how to put this stuff into OneNote, so that makes my life a whole lot easier. All right. So let's just get a highlighter going. So what we're going to do, we'll use the pencil to kind of scratch off or tick off whatever is common to both, right? So we agree that the opening balance is the same, right? So tick off the opening balance. All right, now another, hold on, ready gate? Yeah, someone can just open to behind, please. Actually, hold on, I'll do it, it's fine. Hey Bianca, morning. Okay, walk at your coffee. What's up? Oh, that's what?
A smoothie.
Oh, a smoothie. Oh, so there's a lot of coffee I have there. Alright, obviously we're doing some bank recs. Alright. Okay, so once again, first thing we have to compare the information in both statements. We're going to take off everything in common. An important piece of information to note is that we're going to be comparing the debit column in the bank with the credit column in the bank statement. Sorry, debit column in the cash book, right, with the credit column in the bank statement. Now, why is that? In our cash book, how do we classify cash or bank again? They're both assets. What do debits do to assets? Increase them, right? So this column is our increase column. In the bank statement, the credit column is the increase column. Now, why is that? Remember I said that the bank classifies our money with them as a liability? What are your double entry rules for liability? How do we record increases? With credits. So the debit column in the cash book is compared with the credit column in the bank statement, right? They both record increases. It's just that we classify our bank account as an asset and the bank classifies it to them as a liability, all right? So the first thing we compared was the $1,000. All right, what about that $250? Do we have $250 down in the bank statement? Yes, we do. $250 here, $250 here. Now I'm seeing two sets of 75. We'll just take off one because one of them is there and one is not. All right, so now we could see that the first three items in the debit column in the cash book are present there in the bank statement, but the next three items are not. So what we're going to do, I'm going to highlight those in green. So 1, 2, 3. All right, and we're noticing that there's an item in the credit column in the bank statement of 200 that's not in the cash book. So we're going to put that in blue, right? So that's what you call the differences in the information between the two statements, right? Our cash book and the bank statement. Now we're simply going to repeat this particular process for the credit side of the cash book and the debit column in the bank statement. All right, so let's check it out. So I'm seeing a 400. Do we have a 400 down here? No 400, right? Whoa, it's not scrolling. All right, cool. So what about that 200? No. Well, actually, an easier thing is to look at the check numbers, right? So check numbers 673, 4, 5, and 6 are there. So we could tick off 50, 120. Sorry, somebody else just came. Right, that's the mic. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? Now we're going to talk about my first question. Right, so same thing. What we're going to do, we're going to highlight the stuff in the cash book that's missing from the bank statement in green. So the first two checks, 400 and 200, are missing from there, as well as the 670, 70, 205. And then in the bank statement, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these two items in blue. So those items are missing from the cash book, right? Now, the purpose of a bank reconciliation statement is to show that we know why the cash book balance and the bank statement balance differ, right? Now, the bank rec is not a T account. It doesn't have any debits and credits. And there's no one right format that you can use. There are many different formats, right? The question here specifies that you start with the bank statement balance, but that's kind of opposite to what I do, but I'm going to show it anyway. All right, but before we get into it, but the first thing we have to do is we have to update the cash book, right? As they're saying down here, update the cash book. All right, so, but before I get into that, does anybody have any questions on the process so far? All right, so all you're doing is you're comparing the information in the two items, cash book versus bank statement. All right, okay, so let's put that to the side. And I want to put this up now. Okay, so, can I not minimize that? Yes. All right, and then I'm going to have to just zoom out a little bit. One sec. Zoom out. All right, that's perfect actually. All right, so let me just get let's go 25 here. Let's copy that across here. Let's minimize this a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna head up updated cash book. Alright, so we're gonna put a little line in the middle there. We're gonna head up our columns. Alright, I wanna format this column, just give me a sec. Cool. Okay, so the process for updating the cash book is to first start with the cash book balance from the information you have. So the cash book balance is this 320 balance right here. So that's on the debit side, right? I'm omitting the dates for now just to keep things a bit simple, right? And to save on some space because I want to make sure whatever I'm doing is visible to whoever's watching online. All right, so 320. All right. Oh yeah, but I'm live on YouTube by the way. Just saying. Yeah. So I'll show you. I have a little chat going on then. Yeah. What's that, sorry? Yeah, I go with that now. Yeah. Right, it. Hey, what? A grown boy? We'll come back. It's like a West Indies cricket match, I don't know. Okay, right. So what we have to do is we have to update the cash book, sorry. To update the cash book means we have to put information in the cash book that is currently not there. The information that is not in the cash book can be found in the the bank statement. This is 2002 or 3, I believe. Hold on, let me just double check. Yeah, 2002. 2002 May. All right, so what? No, May 2002. I believe either 2002 or 2003. I didn't put a year on. Anyhow, sorry, who's calling? Hello, good morning. Oh, you came with the flowers? Alright, yeah, what's that coming now? Yes. Alright. Okay, cool. Yeah. Alright, just give me a sec, sorry. Tomorrow's Mother's Day now, and I ordered some flowers from Mom. I'm just gonna outside and collect it. Yes. Those on the live, just give me a minute.
Chris, we'll keep them busy.
Alright, cool. You keep them busy? Alright.
Hey, Kevin. Sorry. I said Kevin, I said hi.
Hello.
Kevin, I said hi.
Sorry, you finished your question for that?
No.
Hello, Kevin. Said yeah, bless up.
You're fine, yo. You're not gonna come with you.
Chelsea, go tell Kevin that you want to go to grad with him. Kevin, Chelsea wants to go to grad with you.
Hey guys, I'm not really that good in PoA, so let's see what he has going on here. The updated cash book.
See you when you're in the
You have to go on YouTube. Oh my god. Right. So balance brought down 320. And that's on the debit side. You know why? If somebody in the comments tell me why that's on the debit side. If you tell me why that's on the debit side, I will give you $100.
I didn't realize Chelsea was actually going to take over class.
Yeah.
Just scooch up a little bit.
Sure. So tell me why it's on the debit side. Let me see if you all
A little bit more.
or
Right, got it.
if you all are really good.
Chelsea, when I graduate.
So I asked a genuine question. You'll need to tell me why it's on the debit side. Tell me why it's on the debit side. You all need to step up your game or else you will not do good in the exams. I told you want to graduate, Annika.
He just asked you.
Why does it sound like an interrogation? One time, 10 more to the other side.
Anyways, best of luck to all of you all. I know you're gonna do great in the exam. Big ones. What happened? Thank you, Kevin. Because it usually Shania Smith, you getting big ones. Big ones. I'll email you the $100. Right? Who's Joanna Rogers? One all you? Oh. Sorry. Chris, I think it's time to come back and teach you.
Yeah, I hear it.
You have fun?
Do I even want to see my chat?
What just happened? Just check the one that's happened.
I'm not sure.
I think that's bullying them, but that's okay. What are you doing?
I just reached. Which year is this? 2002. Yes.
I said that.
Who won the grad date? Oh, dude, Jakeem Griffith boy. Man, jump out.
Jiggy man would like the gravity. I tried to take my phone.
Why? What on the debit side? Bank. Oh, sorry. Chelsea was harassing all you. Send my 4 into a 3. Alright, well, yeah, that's right. That's all they could do. Alright, guys. Sorry. Where was I? I was here. Was I not?
No.
Alright, guys. Sorry about the disturbance. I just had to collect that stuff. Okay. So, yeah, like I was saying, first step in bank rec is to update your cash book. You update your cash book by putting information in it that it does not have. We get that information from the bank statement. I've highlighted, we've gone through and compared the cash book with the bank statement and ticked off all of the items they have in common. Those items are not the items we're going to be using to do the updating. They're already there. Okay, now, so what we're going to do now, there's no specific order in which you have to list the new items. We just have to make sure that they're on the correct side, right? The credit column in the bank statement is increases. What side of the cash book is increases? Debit or credit? Good, right. So we're going to put credit transfer. If you could fit Y seaton, you could fit it, no problem. And that's an amount of 200. There are no more items on the credit side of the bank statement that were missing or highlighted. So now we go to the debit side. The debit side of the bank statement has the decreases, the outflows from the account. So if these items here, or anything on the debit side of the bank, in the bank column, debit column in the bank statement represents decreases. On what side of the cash book will that go? That'll go on the credit side. Very good. So we have what we have standing order. I don't know what PIRE means, but I'm going to put it in.
With a new balance statement.
Yeah.
The credit side is increasing.
Credit side is increasing the bank statement. That's correct. Yes. All right. And then we have bank charges of 50. All right. So what we've done right now is we've put in everything that was missing from the cash book into the cash book. So all we have to do now is find the new closing balance. That'll be this minus the sum of those two. So 150 minus that should be 370, I think. All right. Boom. Right. So 370. So that is a new balance in the cash book. All right.
Somebody else like this.
No, that's my back yet actually.
Oh.
All right. All right, so I hope those online could see. If you're watching on your phone, I hope it's not too small. Okay. All right, so does anybody have any questions so far on the process? All right, those on the live are sorry, I can't see the comments right now because I'm actually using the screen you're seeing. I'm trying to see on my phone, but it's hard to watch both at the same time. All right, I'm just gonna put a separator line there. So I'm going to head up bank reconciliation statement. All right. That move? Right, that move. All right. Now the question does say prepare the bank reconciliation statement starting with the bank statement balance and ending with the cash updated cash balance. And that's the way I prefer to do it because I find that's the way it makes most sense and it kind of follows on what we did very easily in terms of the process. Sorry, hold on. I need to undo that. Okay, so we already checked out the bank, we updated the cash book already. Now we have to quote unquote update the bank statement. So same thing, you're going to start with the ending balance in the bank statement, which currently is 925. So you put balance as per bank statement, which is 925. Now this, by the way, I'm abbreviating because I don't want to open my columns too wide and have things looking too small. In the exam, I don't suggest you abbreviate unless you have no other choice. I know sometimes some of you guys write kind of big, and the space may not be overly accommodating to your writing style, so just make it fit somehow, right? Okay, so once again, there's no one right way to do a bank rec. You don't have to put the additions first, you don't have to put the subtraction second. Anyway, I put the additions first and do the subtraction second, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so where do we look to find information that the bank statement doesn't have? We look in the cash book. All right. This thing don't want to scroll up, boy. Oh, okay, there you go. All right, sorry, it wasn't scrolling up. Okay, so everything in green is something that's missing from the bank statement, right? So remember, items on the debit side, these things are increases, so we're going to add those. Essentially, what we have here is stuff that the bank statement doesn't have yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to technically, like I said, update the balance on the bank statement to make sure it agrees with this balance here. What we've done is we've made sure the information between both the cash book and the bank statement are identical. And provided they have the same opening balance in both items, you're going to have the same ending balance. All right, so we're going to add, right? So you could call them bank lodgements. All right, you don't have to list each of them separately. You can do them, you could do it as one figure, right? If you want, you could put a sum, right? So I'm going to put 75 plus 110 plus 65, so that's 250. Right, so after I put in the increases that were missing from the bank statement, this is what I would have. And the last thing to do is to less, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call it unpresented checks. Right, now there are three items here, a 400, a 200, and a 205. That's going to give us, yeah?
The bank lodgements were the increases in the cash book.
Correct. Right, that's what a bank lodgement is like, okay, you know, when you get a check, you have to go and carry it to the bank, and then either you put it in the ATM or you go in the line and you put it by the teller, right? There is a 5-day waiting period or processing period before the money actually shows up in your account. So when we get the check, we record it in our cash book one time, but until we carry that check to the bank and the bank processes it, it won't show up in the bank account, on the bank statement, right? So that's what you call a bank. If something is lodged somewhere, it's kind of stuck somewhere. So that's, in my opinion, that's why it's called a bank lodgement. So that it is stuck in the bank and it has not yet hit the account.
So all increases in cash book are bank lodgements?
That's a difficult question to answer. The answer is no, but unless they give us some other thing to use, then yes. Just classify them all as bank lodgements, most likely. The other thing that I put in my handout was something called an undeposited check. If you all give me a check, like for example, I have Laurel and Jordan check here. If I don't carry it to the bank, can the money go in the account? No. So this is an undeposited check. It can't even be. Correct. So like when you'll give me checks, I'll update my cash book. But if the bank doesn't know about it, they can't update the statement, right?
Until you take it to them.
Until I take it to them. That's correct. All right. So, and then unpresented checks as when we make payments to people and they don't carry the check to the bank yet. So the check has not yet been presented for payment.
Therefore, the money in your bank account hasn't left to go to them.
Correct, exactly that. The money in our bank account hasn't come out. So what we're doing here is we're behaving like it actually has, just to make sure it ties back up with the balance in the cash book. All right. So the total here, 400 plus 200 plus 205 is 805. Oops, nope, hold on, something went wrong. I see what went wrong. Boom.
400 plus 200 plus 805.
Plus 205.
205.
Right, so does this balance here match with this balance? Yes, it does. So we have 370 in the cash book after updating it for information from the bank statement that we didn't have. And then when we did our bank reconciliation statement, starting with the bank statement balance, and updating it for information the cash book had that we didn't have, we now have the same balance as per cash book. And like I was saying, that is the point of the bank rec. The bank rec is simply a statement that shows that we know why the balances in the cash book, bank column, don't, and the balance in the bank statement don't agree, right? And that happens because of what you call asymmetrical information, right? You'll, like I said, the analogy I use here is you'll ever did like any kind of those little puzzle books or activity books or any papers in the kids section, and they have two pictures side by side and say spot the difference. That's all that this is. All you're trying to do is spot the difference and match it up, right? So you're trying to put the same information in both places. Each one is going to have information the other one doesn't have, so it's just an information exchange, right? The terminology, in my opinion, is not the most important part. Once you know it has to be added, add it. So even if you had to list out all of these things and put C. Coombs, Y. Davis, E. Ellis, that is more important than calling it an unpresented check or a bank lodgement, in my opinion, right? If push comes to shove.
So you can do that?
You can. Like I said, there's no one right way to do a bank rec. There are no accounting standards governing it. There are no absolute rules other than it has to be done correctly. But correctly is subjective. As in, there's no one set of correct terminology you have to use. We have certain terms we use because those are kind of industry standard. And the hope is that you will eventually understand those things and what they mean and what to do with them. But like I said, for the purpose of your exam, if that's what you have to do, then do that. Right? When I do my bank rec for lessons and things, I don't use those terms, I use the exact thing of who paid me money or what I had to pay, and if it didn't show up or if it did show up. For the bank rec, yeah.
You know how in the cash book there was the increases that you added?
Yes.
So that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. So these green items here are the items missing from the bank statement, right? These are on the debit side of the cash book, which means they are increases that the bank doesn't know about. So therefore, like I said, we're trying to make the information in both places the same, right? So if the bank statement doesn't have it, we'll add it. Similarly, the items in the credit column here are payments that the bank doesn't know about. So we have taken them out of our cash book already, which has decreased the cash book balance. So therefore, to make the information in both places the same, we will take those same payments and subtract them from the bank statement balance.
Is there bank rec with the balance in the cash book?
Yes, that's a very good question. So I'm going to do that now actually, right? So sometimes the question does specify which balance to start with, as it did in this one. I like this one because it said start with the bank statement balance, because to me the process is more logical, not so, Leon? Right? So it's more logical and it follows the same pattern, same logic of working for the update in the cash book. The other way to do it is to start with the balance as per cash book, my bad. Per cash book, which in this case is 370. All right, so we're going to start with our balance. Now, what we have to do is actually reverse the logic. If we put in stuff from the bank statement into the cash book, right? If we're trying to make sure the information in both places is the same, we could either put stuff in the bank statement that was missing, or remove that stuff from the cash book. Because if the bank statement doesn't have it, if you take it all from the cash book, then the information in both places will be the same, right? So let's take a look. So for example, let's say these items here, once again, the items on the debit side in the cash book, those were increases to the cash book. If the bank statement doesn't have them, then to make the information in the cash book and the bank statement the same, you remove it from the cash book, right? So instead of adding bank lodgements, you'll less the bank lodgements, right? Minus 250, right? So that'll give us that. So 120 now. And similarly, the items on the credit side in the cash book were payments, money coming out. That money hasn't come out of the bank statement. So to make the information in the cash book and the bank statement the same, we're going to have to put the money back into the cash book, right? Because it hasn't yet come out of the bank statement. So like I said, it's basically just making sure the information is the same between both places, right? And that was how much? Is 805? Oops, sorry, right? Boom. 925.
That's just to show going back to the...
Yep, that's correct. Why doesn't go scroll, boy? Yeah, well, let me pull up the question via this anyway. Right, and if you look in the bank statement, that balance was 925. Right, and that's what we, oops, 19. right? 925, 925. Right? Balance as per bank statement. Balance as per bank statement. Okay. So does anybody have any questions on the first item? All right, cool. So what I want you guys to do is turn the page and we're going to look at another question. Let me just see if I could actually move this thing. Okay, I don't know why this doesn't want to scroll. This is supposed to be me, what I would use to explain stuff. All right, fine. All right, next question I believe is the 2015 May question, right? So the question you hadn't seen it on an exam in quite a while, and they made a certain. So it came in 2015 and 2016. Didn't come 2017, didn't come 2018. All right, so I can't guarantee what will come and what won't come. I don't make predictions. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look. So this information was presented the same way as Ruby Brown. All right, let me just see if I could maximize this to see if that'll help. All right. Okay, so what we're seeing here is the bank statement columns, right, for Orvie Elwin for the month of October 2014. So they gave us the bank statement first and then the cash book after. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through and pick out the information that is similar, and then we're going to highlight the information that is different. All right, so here, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. I want you all to try it, right? Because the point of it is you all had to try it. I'm not going to be there in the exam to walk you through. All right, so I'll give you a couple minutes. You could tick off or cross off the stuff that is in common, and you could circle or somehow identify the items that are different. All right, yeah, those on the live, just give me a couple of seconds. Just going to take a little walk around. Actually, I'm going to take and see how the comments do. Kevin, to answer your question, the direct debit standing order and bank charges, yes, those will go on the credit side of the cash book because those are payments. Those will decrease the balance. Shania, so depending on what the balance they tell you to start with, it lets you know what to add and subtract. Yes, Shania, that's correct. Soft copy, paper 1, 2018. Now, I'm looking for that too, so I don't even have that to say I can send all it. All right, guys. Okay, just give me a couple minutes. Bring that down. All right, you take off your stuff? All right, cool. How we doing the far side across? You all getting through with it? All right, cool. All right, if anybody's comfortable with the topic and wants to go ahead with all of them, that's fine. I have all the solutions prepped already. All right, so we could go through them at your leisure. Oh, sorry, that's not this item. That is this item here. All right, so yeah, so that was the, sorry, this is the 03 question. The question we just did was 03, Ruby Brown. Sorry, 02 was a different question, my bad. All right, so this is how I presented it there. That's an old version, boy. Question? Oh.
Actually,
Yeah, sure. What's up? Yeah. Right, so the first thing of the cash book, right? So if it's not here, there's the only other place you could pull it from. Okay. Right. So now we notice that the balance here is a negative balance. As is this, because it's on the credit side. Now we have to compare the column here with the other column, right? So you see it, so it doesn't have a 4,000. So this item will be the only item you're going to be adding. Right. Similarly here now, right, so we have the 1,700. I think that. Hold on, no, 23. All right, cool, my bad. Right, so the item is missing from here would be the standing order, debit transfer, so those are going to credit. Right? How is it? Going through?
Yeah.
All right, so sure. All right. Yeah. It might be about half mark. There's not a big break. Good.
I have marks for each one.
I know. All right. All right. Yeah, we just finished the first bank recs question, which is from Ruby Brown. We're doing the next one from 2015. After that, I have a second example to do where they don't give you the comparative information. They give you just the statements, the words. All right. All right, guys. I think most of y'all. Wait, hold on. Sorry, what? AC? Yeah, sure. Hey, special shout out to Mr. Kerwin Springer passing through. What's going on? Kerwin Springer, the guy who does the the mask man.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Kerwin, big up. Alright, guys, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a look at what you guys have so far, just in case anybody on the live needs some advice. Okay, so what's the first thing I said to do? Make sure that the opening balance is the same between both statements, right? Opening balance, 900, 900. Whoops, what did I do? Let's scroll back up. Alright, so a little sensitive. Okay, cool. Next, we're going to compare the credit column here with the debit column. Remember, the credit column in the bank statement has the increases, and the debit column in the cash book has the increases. Alright, so we're going to take off that once again. So now, we have a 150 up here, 150 here, 850, 850. All right, now we have the items that are different. So we're gonna highlight this one in green, that's missing from the bank statement, so that's gonna go in the bank rec. And then this one down here is missing from the cash book, so that's gonna be in the updated cash book. Sorry, my bad, I'm talking rubbish. This one is going to go in the updated cash book. This one is going to go in the bank rec. My bad. But those are the items that differ. All right. Next, let's take a look at the debit column here and compare it with the credit column there. Okay, so I'm seeing the 1700 in both places and the 2300 in both places. So the items that are different, right? So anything in green up here, which is in the bank statement, but not in the cash book, will go in the updated cash book. And similarly, anything down here, which is in blue, is in the cash book, but missing in the bank statement. So that will feature in the bank rec. All right. So did you guys find same thing? Anybody had anything different? I have anything wrong? Now, an important thing to note, very important as a matter of fact, is that both of these things ended with an overdraft balance. Look here, this is in brackets, and there's a big O/D next to it, which means that's a negative bank balance. Similarly, down here, the balance is brought on the credit side. Now, how do we classify bank? Not asset. What type of balance should an asset usually have? Debit balance. If the bank account has a credit balance, our cash book that is, the only way for that to happen is if we spend more money than we have, which will result in an overdraft. So when you are doing up your updated cash book, make sure you bring your balance down on the credit side. All right? Okay. Anybody has any questions on what I have on the board currently? What's that? No? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do up the updated cash book. So remember, the stuff in the green in the bank statement is the stuff that's missing from the cash book, right? So we're going to start, when you start your cash book, you're starting with the 1780. And then when you'll start with that and you'll plug in those green items on the appropriate side. All right, I'll give you a few minutes before I put it up. All right, just going to check the comments.
Hey, there's some fun stuff.
What's that?
I know that guy.
Christopher Mascal?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Every episode I
Oh. Good stuff. Leon Prasai?
Let's do it. Hey, 16.
Yeah?
60.
That's on IG or E. No, sir.
Is your answer supposed to be 90?
Yes. In the cash book, you're supposed to start with the credit balance 25. Let's see. The cash book. No, remember the cash book? This is the cash book down here. Right? This is the bank statement up here. Right? So in the cash book, you're going to start with this balance as the cash book balance. Right? In the bank rec, if you start in the bank rec with the bank statement balance, you're going to start with this balance up here. All right? Okay. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Crap. Brother was calling. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Call back my brother. Yeah, we're gonna. No, I had checked that. I didn't see anything updated, but I'll check back later. Yeah. No problem. Alright, cool. Yeah, later.
Guess the chicken shop.
Check my chat. Yeah, going for all this stuff for now. Alright. Well, Kelly will finish your work. Alright, so before you have time to message in the chat, or you have time to do the work. Alright? Okay, so what we're gonna do, let's just right, control, I should just control. This is who? Right, 15. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit so everything fits. Alright, same thing here, we're just gonna clear out everything. Let's just do that. Alright guys, what I want to do is I want to do the updated cash book on the board. Okay, so like I said, you're going to start the cash book with the balance at the end. So cash book is down here, and the balance at the end is this item down here in the purple. Alright, 1780. Note it's on the credit side, which means it's an overdraft. Next, we're going to put in anything in green up in the bank statement. Right, anything in the credit column in the bank statement is an increase, which means you're going to put it on the debit side here. So that says credit transfer. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Credit transfer is 4,000. All right, that's the only inflow. The next thing we need is any outflows. We have 3 outflows. Okay, so let me just shift this down a little bit so we have some more space. So we have a standing order, which is 1,000. We have a debit transfer, which means we transferred money out. Transfer, okay. 825. And we had bank charges of 400. The balance? Excellent, lovely. Did you eat?
Yeah.
Do you have food to eat?
Yeah. It was like, I'm not going to the next review.
Yeah. I want to like this again. I want YouTube to know like when you love parties.
Are people watching?
Yeah, about 17. And people here commenting in the chat like crazy people. I'll show you. Oh.
21.
Hey, 21 boy, what? On fur. Nice.
Liam, why are you commenting on the live stream?
Liam and Bianca.
You did?
Wait, where them?
What did you say? Liam said hi.
Mine didn't balance.
I didn't put any bank
Oh,
charges.
okay. Oh, I didn't put the bank charge in? Alright, so let's see if we can help anybody whose one didn't balance. Alright, so like I was saying, if we add up this side, right? Oops.
Jeez.
Alright. We're going to end up with 4,005. So 4,005 is obviously more than 4,000. So the balance is going to be carried down from this side. That's going to be equal to this minus that, which is just going to give us $5, right? So at the end here, our bank account is still in overdraft because the balance is still carried down from the credit side. It's just me. Wait, why they can't see the Oh no, I'm behind in the chat. Okay. I had paused the chat. Alright, I think I'll back up the thing. Okay, now with the bank rec. So just to be clear, they said prepare the updated cash book, and then here they said starting with the updated cash book balance, draw the bank rec. So I'm not going to do that at first, right? I'm going to start with the bank statement balance, and then I'm going to do the cash book balance. Now you don't have to do it both ways. I just prefer to do it starting with the bank statement balance. All right, so balance as per bank statement.
Wait, Chris.
Yeah.
So when the balance carried down is on the
The balance down there, right? Right. So once again, the bank statement indicates that the account is in overdraft, as indicated by the brackets surrounding 325, as well as O/D. Right. Remember what an overdraft is where you spend more money than you have in the bank, and the bank basically has to lend you the money to spend, but it's shown as a negative balance. So what do we do? Okay, so once again, everything that was in green up here in the bank statement went into the cash book. Anything in blue down here was in the cash book that needs to go in the bank rec. So let's start with the increases. Once again, there's no, yeah.
It says updated.
Right, I'm gonna do that one after. I'm gonna do this one first, and then I'm gonna do that one after.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I did it wrong.
Why?
Because I started with the 325, but I put it as a cash.
Oh, okay.
I did it right, but I just put it wrong.
Okay, well if the balance bar just change the words. That's no big deal. Alright, so balance per bank statement is negative.
So when it's debited in the bank statement,
Yeah.
credited on the updated cash.
Yes, the columns are opposite between both of them. Alright, so let's go on the debit side. So once again, there's no one right way to do a bank rec. It's really up to you which order you put it in. Once you add the things that you're supposed to add and subtract the things you're supposed to add. Alright, so DL win. So that's on the debit side there. So we're going to say add. Good. All that way. So we're going to add the 500 unless unpresented checks. And that's 180. So this item on the credit side here is a payment. Right? That means it's going to decrease the balance there.
Wait, a bank lodgement. What is a bank lodgement?
A bank lodgement. Okay, so you like how you all pay me this check today?
Yeah.
When I go and I put it in the ATM, yes, I'm not gonna get the money in my account until 5 days pass. My cash book already has that I have the money, but the bank statement does not reflect that.
Because they don't.
It takes 5 days to process. Right? So that time when the money is kind of stuck in the bank, you could say like when something is lodged somewhere, it's stuck. Right. So that's a bank lodgement.
So you can't access the money.
Correct. Until it clears. Yeah. Right. And this is the balance as per cash book. Right. So once again, I started with the balance as per bank statement, a negative 325 as the overdraft balance. Then I go down here in the cash book. Right, I pull the highlighted items. There's one increase. It's an increase because it's on the debit side of the cash book. Right, I call it bank lodgement. If you're not sure if it's a lodgement, you're not sure about the terminology, just use the names that they give you here in the question. Oops. Right, there's also one outflow for Light and Power Company. You could call that an unpresented check or Light and Power Company. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. Right. Sorry, what? Reconciliation.
So,
Oh, right. Yeah.
oh, that.
Okay.
So bank lodgements always debited and the cash flow.
A bank lodgement will come from the debit side of the cash flow. That's correct.
And unpresented checks always on the credit side.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, now if we actually follow the instructions in the question, which I want you guys to do, we'll start with the balance as per updated cash book. Which in this case is a -5. It's a -5 because, remember, it's an overdraft. It's brought down on the credit side. And we just reverse the logic from across here. So once again, you're just trying to make sure the information in both items, bank statement and cash book, are the same. Right? Yeah, John, I've seen what it says, so that's what I'm doing now. Right? Sorry, somebody in your life, my bad. Okay, so all we have to do is reverse the logic. So we could less bank lodgements, 500, and we can add back the unpresented checks.
So when in the bank statement, when the end figure is bracketed, you minus it.
Right, you notice next to the bracket it says O/D on the outside,
Yeah.
overdraft. The brackets indicate a negative balance. Right, and is this 325 here, the balance in the bank statement here? A negative balance? It is, right? So, balance as per bank statement. Alright, so here, so for anybody in live who is asking about that, I think Joanna Rogers was asking about that, so I did it this way as well. Alright? I just find this way to be kind of counterintuitive to the way I teach it, but nothing is wrong. Like I said, there's no one right way to do a bank rec, and it's better if you know how to do both. Right? Okay. Alright. So, how many people got it to tie back? Yeah? Alright. Good. Yeah.
If they ask you to do it this way, when at the end of that way.
You just wouldn't get the full marks. I can't see them not giving you any marks because what you've done is you've done the point of the bank rec. Right? And actually, I was speaking to Mr. Cooper earlier this week, and I was asking him, why does the syllabus specify that you have to do a bank rec starting with the updated cash book balance? Because the only way to update the cash book is if you have the bank statement. And if you have the bank statement, chances are you're going to have the ending balance in your bank account. So why would you not just take that and then just do the same adding and subtracting of the missing items? Right? So he says he actually doesn't know. But same thing, I'd rather you all know how to do it and not have to do it than have to do it and don't know how to do it. Right? So it's just another thing in your arsenal.
So they wanted as balance as per the cash book.
Right. They've specified that way, right? But like I said, some of the questions don't specify. And if they don't specify, in my opinion, you are free to do it any way you want. Right? Even if it does specify and you just carry with it in your head, just do it the regular way. Alright. Okay guys. Alright, so we are 10 past 11 there. Anybody have any questions, any problems you want to address before we go to the next question?
Not really.
Alright, cool. Alright. So, we of course have questions that do not give us comparative bank statement and cash book information. Right? For example, the very next question, let me zoom in a little bit so those on the live can see a little better. Right? Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this question with you guys, right? I identify the items and where they go, whether it's the updated cash book or the bank rec, where they add or subtract them, and then you guys are going to do those statements. Okay, so this is 2016, I believe. Yeah. You all may have a 2019 question in front of that. If you do this turn again, you'll see 2016. Right, but the question's name is in grenade. Right? You all have that question in front of you all? Grenade?
Yeah.
Anybody not seeing grenade? No? Okay, good.
I think I exploded.
You think explode? Alright, cool. We explore the option. Yeah. We can and we should if you all need food. Right? Alright, so what we'll do is let's do this question, and while you're all doing it, I'll name the order. Right? If anybody needs to order food, let me know, so when we do the order, we get one order. Right?
Maybe for someone else.
If somebody online, anybody online want food? Order it yourself. I can't order, I can't help you. Sorry. I would like to, but I can't. Alright. Okay, in September, Grenade's cash book shows an overdrawn balance. Overdrawn balance. What does that mean? On what side would the balance be on? On the credit side. Very good. Yeah. Overdraft. Right? Overdrawn, overdraft. Right? Right. So it shows an overdrawn balance of 3,400, which did not agree. Right? Did not agree with the balance in the bank statement. In checking his cash book with his bank statement, Grenade observed the following. First item, a check paid to Blue for $12.38 was correctly entered in the bank statement, but entered in the cash book as $13.28. So let's talk about that first. It's entered in the bank statement and entered in the cash book. So that, the thing is, it's the same between, it's in both places, but what's the major difference?
It's the wrong amount.
You figure, which figure is the wrong amount? The cash book or the bank statement figure? The cash book figure. You see, it says a check paid to Blue for $12.38 was entered as $13.28. So that's the wrong amount. Is that amount too high or too low? Too high. So, and by the way, on what side of your cash book would you put a payment? Debit or credit? On the credit side. Remember, payments in the cash book go on the credit side, right? So, the credit side currently has a $13.28 figure and it's supposed to have a $12.38 figure.
So you debit the figure.
Right, so to fix that, you have to debit, sorry, I'm trying to write without detaching it, which is proven to be challenging. What about if it is, no, okay. Yeah, you know I could detach this. Right? Okay, let's see if that helps. If anybody in live seen up my nose, sorry. Right? Okay, so it went on the debit side, sorry. What's that? Well, I can turn it so they could see you all, but yeah, I could do that. All right, right. Sorry. So once again, we get sidetracked. So there was a credit for $13.28, but it was too high. So therefore, to counterbalance that, remember the accounts only have two sides. So if something goes wrong on one side, we just use the other side to correct it. All right. So if the credit side is too high, we have to debit the account. For how much do we debit it?
90.
90. Why 90?
Because it's the difference between.
It's the difference. Very good. So we put in $13.28, which was too much. The amount was supposed to be $12.38. So you simply find the difference and you get 90. So we are supposed to debit the cash book. So this goes in the updated cash book. So debits to the cash book are what? Increases or decreases? Increases. So this is a plus, right?
So you debit, you put cash book in detail.
You could put error, correction of error, right? You could even put blue, right? You may want to put blue because remember when you would have entered the transaction on the credit side, you would have put blue 1328, right? Now I'm not saying that you actually did. Yeah, I don't know if the entry in Blue's account was wrong. See, this is where we tend to overthink, right? It might very well be suspense account because if you put the correct amount in Blue's account, it's a one-sided error. And if it's a one-sided error, the suspense account is used to facilitate double entry. All right. Okay. Yeah, I see the view on the level. Let's see the roof. Sorry about that.
I didn't ready to be but
all right.
I thought it was anything this lit.
Well, you'll find out how the exam was. It was lit. All right, cool. So bank charges for the month of 100 were entered on the bank statement. So they were entered on the bank statement, but not in the cash book. So if we know it's not in the cash book, what do we have to do? Put it in. So if it's the bank charges, is that an increase or a decrease? As a decrease. All right. So minus UCB for how much? 100. And if it's a decrease, does it go on the debit or credit side?
Credit.
The credit side. Very good. You're on the ball to the Lord.
Yeah.
Nice.
Had breakfast.
Yes, you see how much difference breakfast makes? All right, the bank paid Grenade's insurance $900 by standing order. So if the bank paid a standing order, it means they transferred money automatically, so they know about it, but we might not. So that means we have to update the cash book. So if it's a payment, on what side would it go in the cash book? Debit or credit? The credit side. All right, so you're going to credit, so it goes in the erase no man, right. So updated cash book. You're going to credit how much? 900. Okay. All right. Any questions on the first three? Anybody? Anything?
Wait, so
Yeah.
they don't know the third one?
No. No.
Wow.
Well, usually standing orders come out straight from our bank account, but we wouldn't know about it until we get the bank statement. So the cash book wouldn't have that information.
Standing orders when they pay on behalf of us.
Correct. Standing orders when the bank pays on behalf of us. All right. Fourth item. Right. Deposits of $8,000 made to the bank account on the 29th of September did not appear on the bank statement. So if they're missing from the bank statement, they have to go in the what? The bank rec.
That's a bank lodge.
That's a bank lodgement. Very good, right? So bank log, right? Bank lodgement, which means of 8,000, which means it goes in the bank reconciliation statement. Right? Now, depending on whether you start with the cash book balance or you start with the bank statement balance, that will affect whether you add or subtract it. But it's an increase to the bank account that is not yet there. All right, next one. Dividends of 2,100 from Red Limited was paid. Shouldn't it be dividends were paid? All right, whatever. No English test, right? Directly into Grenade's bank account. So it says directly into the bank account. So it means the bank statement knows about it, but we don't. So it means therefore if the bank statement knows about it, it goes in the updated cash book. Right? So it goes updated cash book. Now it says we're paid into our account. So would that increase or decrease our account? Increase. So would it go on the debit side or credit side of the updated cash book? The debit side. Very good. Debit 2100. All right. Next, 4 checks totaling 5,200 have not been presented to the bank for payment. So what is that? What is that item? Unpresented checks, right? So that goes in the bank reconciliation statement, and that's unpresented checks, right? So once again, I won't put if it's a plus or a minus. It depends on if we start with the cash book balance or the bank statement balance, right? And the last item, a check for $300 received from Yellow on the 2nd of September had been returned by the bank for insufficient funds. So it's been returned by the bank for insufficient funds. So when we receive a check, on what side of the cash book would it go? On the debit side. If the bank sent back the check saying, hey, this person had insufficient funds, did we actually receive the money? No, we don't. So we have a debit to our bank account, but we didn't get the money. So we have to kind of undo that debit. How do you undo a debit? You credit the cash book. Right, so you're going to credit the updated cash book for that item.
Wait, so I'm details.
NSF checks. NSF. Oh. Right, it says insufficient funds. You could even put Yellow because Yellow is the person, but I would put NSF check or maybe Yellow and dash NSF, whatever you want to put. All right, okay. So you have an updated cash book to do below there. Right, so remember the overdrawn balance is 3,400. On what side of the account do you bring down the overdrawn balance? Debit or credit? Credit side. So this is going to be the credit balance brought down. Okay, guys, start with that credit balance brought down, and I'll give you a few minutes to do that updated cash book. Does anybody have any questions? Nope. Okay. Well, let me check the live and see if anybody there have any questions. Or if anybody jump out. Alright. Mind and balance. Yeah. So is class you having? Yes, class I having. You think it's a joke? You think it's a game? Credit is an overdraft, yes. Laura Prasad, hello. Hi Laura. Cash. NSF means not sufficient funds. Sufficient. I know, but just for the record now. NSF check? Yeah. It goes on the credit side, that's correct, yes. I would put dividends for sure. I might put dividends in Red Limited or dividends dash Red Limited, something like that. Let's start. I think it's settings I used.
Oh wait, Chris.
Oh. Yeah.
You start off with the overdrawn balance in your bank statement, 8,400.
Yes. How do I know that? Live dashboard. Hold on. Return to YouTube Studio. Live dashboard. Stream options. Create highlight. Go live. Is he making that noise?
Probably.
I'm just checking something for the people then. Hey, Godzilla boy.
He's at the
Yeah, King of Monsters. You're not adding back? Live now.
Because
Save to.
I put the balance from the cash book as 300, but it's a overdraft, so I minus it.
Mhm.
And the since it's
I've seen it here. I mean, does that mean it's safe? I guess we'll find out.
Normally when you do a live stream, it's save like the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like a video.
I hope so. Alright.
you add 1% check to start with the balance as per the cash flow, right?
What instruction did they give you? Just the bank rec, right?
Yeah.
Okay, which balance did you start with? Cash book balance or bank statement balance? Well, we do have bank statement.
No, they didn't.
So you had to start with cash book balance?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with the cash book balance, we'd have to minus the 8,000, which is the bank lodgements,
Yeah, so
and add back the 2,100.
2,100.
The sorry, not that. My bad. 52. My bad. Right? But the thing is, we have no way to double check it because it didn't give us the bank statement balance. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is you don't know. So now because if you knew and it didn't balance back, you now had to go and spend time checking what you didn't do. If you don't know, then just move on.
I
Right?
got
Yeah.
negative 3,000.
One of the standing on what details did they put?
Did they tell us what we paid? Or not? Did they set standing order?
Oh, that's it all.
Insurance?
Insurance.
Then put insurance. Alright, cool. So
Yeah.
did I not?
I got negative 3,690.
Negative 3,690. Alright, well I'll let you know shortly. I should really just have done the question. Alright, cool. That good?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, I'll put up the solution shortly. Right. The delay kind of cut down. Alright, nice man.
What are two bank statement items which would be used to adjust net income? If the net income was calculated for the bank statement. Which was
Alright, what items go in the income statement? There are two major categories.
Expenses
Uh-huh.
and cost of goods sold.
Well, expenses and revenues.
Expenses and
Alright, cool. So, were there any things that you had to update your cash book for that were either expenses or revenues?
Yeah.
Which ones? What was the item?
The
Dividends?
It was the they did. Yeah, they dividends of 2,100.
Right, so dividends are income.
Yeah.
So if we didn't know about it, then we have to update.
Would bank charges be an expense?
Yeah, bank charges are definitely expense. Alright.
What is one internal user, one external user of the information?
Alright, just give me one second, right? Let me just stitch together this thing here. Alright guys, so I have the solution on the board. Alright, so first things first, you're starting off with your, hold on, is the right question? No, my bad. Sorry about that. Okay, grenade, and it's highlighted there in orange, yeah? In a mango color, right, cool. So, updated cash book. So once again, you had an overdrawn balance of 3,400. So that goes here. If it's an overdraft, it's brought down on the credit side. So we had some items. Hold on, let me see if I can just push this across a little bit. Why does it not want to? Okay, fine. Right, so. Okay, that helps. Sorry, where was I? Got lost. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so the first item, right? Overdrawn balance 3,400. So we put that on the credit side. Next item, we have check paid to blue, right? So that one was the correction. We had to debit the updated cash book for 90. So that goes on the debit side. Next item, bank charges, right? 100. Okay, so those bank charges go on the credit side as a payment. Next item, bank paid grenades insurance standing order. That's also a credit item. All right, everybody okay with the first three items? Right, the overstated payment, like you can put correction of error, you can put suspense account, you can even put blue, right? Because I didn't tell you exactly what happened, so they can't give it to you wrong if you don't know, right? Yeah, bank charge. Okay, everybody okay with those three? All right, next. We have deposits made. Okay, so this item, the fourth item, goes on the bank rec. The dividends from red, right, that money coming in, that goes on the debit side. 4 checks, well, that's bank rec statement, all right? Last item, right, this is NSF check. So the NSF check, sorry, I think, yeah. NSF check means that we have to undebit. To undebit means you have to credit. So that goes on this side here, all right? Oh wait, did you start your bank rec with the 3400?
No, I started it with the 47. Wait.
What 47? That's the total. That's not the balance, girl. All right. 2510. Right. So yeah. So after we put in the opening overdraft, we have 3 payments, 2 items on the debit side. One is not a receipt, so I didn't want to say 2 receipts. When we balance off, we still end up with an overdraft at end. All right. Everybody okay with that? Any questions? Anybody? Anything? Chelsea, what do you live saying there? What do you live say? Anything? I see you monitoring. The way you're watching your phone.
My fans.
Your fans? But tell them you have an AC with no fans. Cool. You catch that one? Alright, nice.
You got a credit balance of 2510.
2510.
Sharita profit.
Alright, very good, Sharita.
It said standing order or which credit is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I answered that already.
Yes, to him, they are.
Yeah, the standing orders are payment. So when you're updating your cash book, it goes on the credit side. Right? Unless there's some sort of error or something like that, generally speaking, it goes on the credit side. All right, next. So the bank rec. So in the question, sorry, I don't know. Right. So the question, prepare Grenades bank rec statement. Now here we have no choice but to start with the cash book balance, the updated cash book balance. Why? Because they didn't give us the bank statement to start with. All right. Okay. So where's my cursor? Hey, where you going? What's going on? Okay, not sure. Right, so bank rec. So we start with the updated cash book balance, right? 2510. Negative 2510, right? If you want to use brackets, that's fine as well. Now, yeah. Right, yes, for the food. Right, well, when I correct this one, we just finish correct this and I'm in the order one time. But yes, thanks for reminding me. Right, we had 2 items. We had deposits of 8,000. So remember, if we were starting with the bank statement balance, we would add any increases, any deposits, any bank lodgements, and subtract any unpresented checks. However,
Why are you subtracting bank lodgements?
Right, so in this case, because we're starting with the updated cash book balance, remember, essentially what we're trying to do is make the pictures look the same.
Or just because they don't have the bank.
Correct. So if we make any pictures look the same, we could either take all the differences and put them where they're supposed to go, or we could take the differences from one side, put it here, and then take out all the other items from the other one. So essentially what we did here is we're turning the cash book into the bank statement in terms of the information in it. So we've taken everything from the bank statement, we've taken everything, yes, from the bank statement and we've taken everything from the bank statement and put it in the cash book.
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is take out everything from the cash book that isn't in the bank statement. So a bank lodgement is where we got money, we send it to the bank, it's stuck in the bank, the account doesn't have it. So correct. So instead of adding it to the bank account, bank statement, we could take it from the cash book. Correct. So you subtract the bank lodgement. So you're taking that out of the cash book because the bank doesn't have it. Similarly,
I forgot the updated cash book on this is negative.
Negative. All right. Yeah, be careful with that, guys. Yeah. Right, and the unpresented checks. All right, so the unpresented checks represents amounts we have paid. So the cash book would have decreased. The bank statement didn't decrease. So to make both of them the same, we have two options. We could either subtract from the bank statement or we could add it back to the cash book. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So if you're starting with the cash book balance, any bank lodgements, once again, bank lodgements are money we got and sent our cash book up. But the bank statement don't have it, so the bank statement didn't budge. So to make these two the same, you either add it to the bank statement or you subtract it from the cash book.
And the total is money on.
The total here is the balance in the bank statement. Or actually, you're correct. Yes, that is how much we owe the bank. That's the overdraft balance in the cash book. All right. Yes. Part B. Standing order, yes. I'll put it in as a matter of fact. I'm trying to scroll down here, but it's not cooperating. Okay, there you go. All right. Okay. Anybody have any questions on the bank rec? Anybody? Anything? No. Does anybody have any questions on the bank rec?
No, you answered.
All right. Cool. Okay. Let's talk about the two theory parts. So there are two mark questions here. Right, try not to leave out those things because those add up, right? Every time you leave out marks, it adds up, right? So list two bank statement items which would be used to adjust the net income if the net income was calculated before the bank statement was received. How do we calculate net income? Two major items, R and E, revenues minus expenses. So if we did not have the bank statement before we calculated net income, it means we didn't have the information such as anything here. This is the dividends, the bank charges, insurance, as well as this thing here and the NSF check. But the thing is, we would only update. How is the balance with the updated cash book negative? That's because it's an overdraft balance, Jahim. Right? If it's an overdraft balance, it means we spent more money than we had, which means we have a negative balance in the cash book. Right? So, like I was saying, any items that we had for which we updated the cash book that were either revenue or expense would mean that the net income was not correctly calculated. So we have two things here, bank charges. So bank charges is an expense, so that would have impacted the net income calculation. Dividends is a revenue, so that would also have impacted the calculation. And the standing order, what was the standing order for? Insurance? Right, standing order for insurance. Right, so any of these three, any two out of these three would be correct for this thing, right? Two of the banks. So something that affects the calculation net income is either a revenue or an expense. So you pull either a revenue or an expense from your bank statement that was needed for the cash book. And one internal user and one external user of accounting information, right? Internal, right? Manager, employee, director. External, so anybody on the outside of the company. So I know shareholders own the company, so that might actually have to go internal, right? Potential investors, current creditors, potential creditors, governments, external audit. I should say external auditors. You could also have internal auditors on top here. Internal auditors. 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 Yeah. Yeah, if you look at an organizational chart, shareholders are actually above the board of directors. Right? So yeah, maybe.
So I'm supposed to know where my shares are.
Yeah, but if they have to do something, they go to that.
That's correct too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So specify potential investors.
Okay. Investors.
I just asked.
No, you're correct. It's potential and current investors. Because if there's a current investor who needs to know, well, is my money making enough, right? Current investors. All right, guys. Okay. So, anybody have any questions on 2016? No? All right. So the questions past this are simply older questions. All right. There's a 2019. If you want to try 2019, you could do that. It's a very short question. They tried to cram a lot of stuff in question 4, I think. It was this item. State 2 types of errors not disclosed by trial balance. They gave you a small bank rec and they had something else attached to it too. So if you want, you could try that Jan 2019. I'll do it up one time. Oh yeah, they had ratios attached to this too. A small piece of ratios. Right? Okay, so For which one? For this one here? 2 types of errors which would not be disclosed by the trial. Okay, so any error that does not affect the agreement of the trial balance would not be hence disclosed by trial. So you have error of omission, commission, principal.
All those don't affect.
Correct. Original entry, compensating errors, and complete reversal. Alright, so those on the live, just give me 2 minutes. I need to order some food for the people then. Alright. Okay, who is here for this afternoon who needs lunch? Alright, you all ordering food or you all have food coming? Order. Alright, you're ordering Domino's. Yeah, everybody know what they want? Maybe I should write this down. Just in case. I believe so. I guess we'll find out. If not, if not, they have a daily special, I believe, which is like 2 large pepperoni for like 140 or something. Yeah, 35 with the drink.
But like if you order like I don't know what's like not really lunch.
I think it's almost $50.
True?
Yeah. So it's a good deal. Alright, okay, start on this side. You here? You need lunch? You ordering? You know what you want? No? Okay, I'll come back to you. Alright, so CBR is chicken bacon ranch. Hey, right now, 35 with a drink. Yeah? Alright. So chicken, bacon ranch. By 1, 2, finley. 3, Liam, finley? Yeah, chicken bacon ranch. 4, 5. With a fucking Coke. You hear you getting food? You hear it? Finley? Alright. Anybody on that side? No? Alright. Chelsea, you're sure, right? The last time we ordered. No, you're not saying? Okay, cool. Alright. So nobody else. Alright, so 7 chicken bacon ranch sandwiches, 6 waters and 1 Coke. Alright, let me play some. So you guys working on right? About 29 minutes short there, so you guys gonna probably finish that. So try Gem Leanne right after.
Chris,
Yeah.
can I just add both bank watchments together there to show both?
You can add both of them together, that's fine. I would actually recommend that.
There's not enough space.
I won't be here for seconds.
Yeah, let's take it and go. That's fine.
I'll leave around like half.
Well, I guess once the food reach. Yeah. Part of my job too. I don't order food. Hi, morning. Can I just order the delivery, please? Sure, no problems.
But they just leave my race.
Hello? Yes. Phone number is 633 0095. Sure.
Okay, so we're next color.
Hopefully errors.
I'm asking what I'm asking her about the last week when you see their food. That's going to be a little interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It says during the month of November 2006, Jeff's cash book showed a balance of 150. Bank statement for the same month showed an overdraft balance at 150. Put it right, bring it down on the debit side of the cash book. Credit side of the cash book.
No, unless it says overdraft debit side. Hello? No problem. Sure, 633 0095. That's correct. That's correct, yeah. Okay, you guys have the lunch special today? Will you getting sandwich and a drink for 35? Okay, I need to get 7 of those. Yeah. Yeah, and all these sandwiches are the same. They're all chicken bacon. And the drinks, I want 6 waters and 1 Coca-Cola. Okay, that's fine.
I was on like 1 HP. I was YouTube and it's a lot. It's 10 shots. I don't know. I feel like 64 shots is
Yes. That's correct, yes. That's correct. Well, 7 right? 85, I think it's 245. And then delivery is $10, right? Yeah, so that's 255 then.
So you can hold 10 of them.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so I got a credit balance for the original.
Who's that, Jim? Yes.
So then I would start off my bank record statement with the negative.
If you start with that balance, yes. If they give you a bank statement, you can start with that. Oh yeah, then you have to start with negative. All right, guys. So place the order. So it should be here. It's yes, yes. So we got. That's all. Yeah, I'll take 7. She's like 7. I'm like yeah. She's like, you're real hungry? I'm like, no, it's not for me. Anyhow, okay. How did ABC go? Now something was interesting about ABC in that they gave you the bank balance as per bank statement, but it did not give you the what? The cash flow balance. So this was kind of a reversal of how they usually bring things, right? So in this case, contrary to what the syllabus says, you have to know how to do a bank rec starting with the bank statement. So like I said, it's best to know how to do it both ways. Whether you start with the updated cash flow balance or whether you start with the bank statement balance. All right, okay, so what I'm gonna do is
You're the teacher when you're essaying.
okay.
I didn't teach on teacher.
Because it's stupid. That time was so hard.
But this teacher, I was very aware.
No, I got it.
You was fine.
Culture, I put it on. And the invasion of the Caribbean island.
I put like British characters in the devil, like Papa Ball, the folklore.
All right, so this bank rec, right? So bank balance as per bank statement, 7,350. 2 deposits which were paid into the bank were not appearing on the month-end bank. They were Morris and Henry. So if there were deposits paid into the bank but weren't showing, what's the technical term for that? You put the money into the bank, but the bank wasn't showing it as the lodgements, right? And the last item was 2 creditors were paid by check. These checks were not shown on the bank statement, unpresented checks, right? So if we start with the balance as per bank statement, we have 7,350, right? What do we do with the bank lodgements? When they ultimately hit the bank statement, are they going to increase it or decrease it? Increase it. So we're going to add the bank lodgements. of how much? Well, 1,500 and 750 is 2,250, yes?
Yeah.
And then the unpresented checks, right? So remember, those are payments we made that have not been reflected on the bank statement. So when they are ultimately reflected, they will do what to the balance on the bank statement? Increase it or decrease it? Decrease it. Very good. So we're going to minus unpresented checks, right? So that's about, okay, so let's say I give you a check and you go and you deposit it in the ATM. There's a 5-day processing time. So in that time, your bank statement will not reflect the money, but in your private records, in your cash book, you will have the increase. So a bank lodgement is money you get, so your cash book goes up, but your bank statement doesn't go up. So you can either add it to your bank statement balance to make sure the balance is agreed, or subtract it from the cash book balance in the bank record. Make sense? Okay. Alright, sorry, what was it? Right, you can, but if you need to do your bank record now, then you have to do your bank record. But that's a good question. Alright, so 55, 50, 96, 963, that's 1513. Was that the amount you guys got for the unpresented checks? 1513?
Yeah.
So did you guys get that balance for the balances per cash book? Alright. Okay. Right, this one, right, prepare the bank rec. Alright, we won't worry about the part C today. We are, like I said, we're just doing the bank rec stuff. We're focusing there today. Alright, you guys try and gem. Alright, let me zoom out a little bit so this one will show. Zoom.
Exactly the next one.
Whoops. Yeah, if you want, no problem. Gem.
No, okay.
75. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. Alright, cool. Alright, so for those on the live, we're doing gem layer now. If anybody has any questions on chapter 19, let me know. Yeah.
So they see these questions.
Yeah, they see that. Actually, this is what the layer looks like right now.
Oh, okay.
Right, they're seeing that, and then my face is more. Oh, okay. Yellow. I am home. Yeah, they say they come to get iguanas. Yeah, but yeah, we just have to make sure. Cool. Yeah, any of those ones. Okay, no worries. Yeah, man. There you go, sorry, just give me a second.
Chris is still live?
Yeah. Alright, so while y'all working, let me just take a peep in the live and see what's going on. Which year is this one, Jim? Then the thing is, let me check my answers. Gem. Gem was a January question. Gem is Jan 07. So the question for Gem Liam is Jan 07. If anybody wants to know. January 2007. Alright, this is the Jan 2019 here.
Chris,
Yeah.
for number 4, that would be credit on the cash flow.
That's correct.
That's like when they paid us for.
You check bounce. That's correct, yeah. Oh, you guys have a talent show today or something?
Yeah, I just talent show.
Yeah.
You're going?
No, one of the girls couldn't make class yesterday because she had to do dance rehearsal. Yeah, so I'm like, okay.
She's a sick boy.
Alright, cool.
Thanks, Jamaica.
Jamaica boy. Alright, big up Jamaica.
Yes, you will buy.
Caribbean wine at least. Hey, look, Nick Bosley boy.
That's the message.
Yeah, the guy from Solution messaged him in the past like 3-4 weeks. What's going on, Nick? So, are you doing any other topics today? I would like to do errors after lunch, after make sure my handle is prepped. If not errors, I'm not sure, but that's the hope right now. Oh, I also have to do depreciation. If not, this is either going to be errors or depreciation after lunch. If you can't make, the live will be recorded, so you can always pull it up later.
Are we gonna do possible on Sunday? We just gonna do more of this.
Well, if we do errors today, we have to do depreciation tomorrow, and then multiple choice to round it off. Yeah.
My watch words for this whole exam season. If some spark, some spark.
What's that?
If some spark, some spark.
There's some spark, some spark. All right, cool.
Somebody said that yesterday.
All right. Can we discuss Gem Lian? At least the items. All right, cool. Let's discuss Gem Lian a little bit. All right. Let's detach again. Okay, so it says during the month of November 2006, GEM's cash book showed a balance in the bank of $150. And for the same month, the bank statement showed an overdraft. Okay, so the bank cash book, the bank column in the cash book has a positive balance, but the bank statement has a negative balance. An examination of the cash book and bank statement revealed the following. Okay, first one. A check issued to Serene Wholesalers for $15.85 on 24th November 06 had not been presented. So where does that one go? That's an unpresented check, right? That's an unpresented check, which means it goes in the bank reconciliation statement. Credit transfer of $21.10 from Ebo Goods had been recorded by the bank. So it's a credit transfer, which means the bank has it, but we do not have it for our cash book. So it goes in the what? The updated cash book. So we're going to debit the updated cash book. Next one, bank fees for the month. Bank fees, bank charges, right? So that's going to go credit the updated cash book. Right? Remember, bank fees are what the bank charges us to maintain our account. So it's money coming out. So therefore, it's going to be a credit. All right. Next item, item 4. The check for $1,200 received from Young Singh on 4th September 06 had been returned for insufficient funds. So if it was returned,
Not NSF.
NSF check, which means it has to come out of the cash book. So you have to credit your updated cash book. The bank had paid GEM's annual membership fees of $1,000 to Retailers International as instructed by her standing order. So the bank paid this on our behalf, which means the bank statement has it, but we don't have it. Right? So it's a payment, which means it goes on what side of the updated cash book?
Credit.
The credit side. Very good. A credit entry in the bank statement for $34.80 was correct, but GEM had recorded the same check as $38.40. So a credit entry in the bank does what to the bank statement? Increase or decrease? Increase it. Right? Credits in the bank statement increase, which means we would have done what? We would have debited our cash book. But did we debit for the correct amount? No, we didn't. It's too high. So our debit is currently too high. So we have to bring it down. How do you bring down a counterbalance a debit error?
Credit.
By crediting the account. So we have to credit the updated cash book for the difference. So we'll do 38.40 minus, sorry, 1 second. All right, 34.80. How much is that, Liam? 360? All right. And 4715, cash and checks were deposited but not recorded by the bank. So those are what? Bank lodgements. Very good. Bank lodgements, which means they go on the bank reconciliation statement. Right? So we only have 2 items of the bank rec. Everything else goes in the updated cash book. Right? So I'll give you guys a few minutes.
First one is for the bank, correct?
Correct. It's an unpresented check. Alright, so yeah, we don't have too much time again. Alright, those only live. I'm gonna log off at the end of this class, but I'm gonna start back a little before 1. So you all could go and get some lunch and stuff. I'll log off so that this live wouldn't be too long, so if anybody has to view it, they don't have to scroll through a whole hour of nothingness going on. Alright. Zoom out a little bit. All right.
Okay, so I was there overdraft. And I was brought down the debit side. Credit side.
That's what makes it an overdraft. Remember, bank is an asset, right?
Yeah.
What type of balance does an asset have usually?
What?
What type of balance does an asset have usually? Debit or credit?
Debit.
Right. So if you have an asset with a credit balance, it means that you took more value out of it than you put in.
Yeah.
For the bank, right, that means you have an overdraft. 3505? Right. So, 1 second. Right. So the bank rec is how I got the 3505. It wasn't given any question. Right. So I simply worked backwards with that one. But really and truly, it was this item down here. But I just want to explain the cash book first before I jump into the bank rec, right? Alright guys, so we at 12, so I want to go through the Gemlien cash book. Gemlien. Right, so Gemlien had a balance at start of 150. Right, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 items to put in. Right, there was one debit, so there's a credit transfer of 2110 from Igbo. So credit transfer would increase the bank account, so therefore we have to debit that transfer, right? You can put Igbo goods, you can put credit transfer, Igbo goods, right? Now, next, bank fees. Bank fees is bank charges, so that has to go on the credit side. That's a payment, money coming out. Next, insufficient funds. Right, so the check was returned. So if you have NSF checks, you have to credit the bank account. Why? Because when we first received the check, it would have gone on the debit side. NSF means that the person did not have enough money to actually pay us. We send the check to the bank send it back to us saying, hey, you didn't get this money. So if we have a debit item that showed that we got money, but we didn't actually get the money, what do we have to do? We had to undebit it. To undebit something, you have to credit the account. Next, you have standing order. Standing order is a payment, right, of membership fees in this case. That goes on the credit side as well. And the error correction, right, so we received money. It was a credit entry for $34.80, but we put a $38.40. So we put $38.40 on the debit side because it was a credit entry in the bank statement, which is an increase. And increases are debited to the cash book. But it was too big. If the debit entry was overstated, to balance it back off or to decrease it, you have to put a corresponding credit entry. And you put the entry for the difference between the correct amount and the incorrect amount. Right? When we did that, when we added up the debit side, we got $2,600. The credit side only had $2,260, which means we paid out more than we had and received. So we ended up with an overdraft of $340. All right. Now the next thing is that we have to do the bank rec. Now, given the fact that we don't have the bank statement balance, you don't really have much of a choice but to start with the cash book balance. Sorry. So starting with the overdraft. So remember, if it's an overdraft, it's a negative bank balance because you've paid out more than you've received. So our bank lodge. So we have bank lodgements. The first item is unpresented checks. We'll add those back. And the last item was the bank lodgements. We'll subtract those. All right, so you're adding back $1,585 and you're subtracting $47.50. Right, so once again, the order in which you do these don't matter once you add and subtract what you were supposed to add and subtract. All right, and we end up getting our bank statement balance, which was an overdraft as well. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on GEM? No? All right. Sure. Updated cash book for GEM, Leanne. Oh yes, All right, guys. Okay, we had 12:03 there, so we're gonna break for lunch. All right. So those on the live, I'm gonna stop the live now, and then I will restart it in about 45-50 minutes. So thanks for joining. So let me chat to the people then. All right, guys. Gonna break for lunch. Be back in 45 to 50. We just reached. Yeah, Aaron. Well, when I stop this one, it'll be available for you to see. I hope. If not, well, hard luck. Sorry about that. I had to figure it out. But yeah, but I had eat a food. You understand what I'm saying? Alright, guys. Okay, so thanks for joining online, guys. I'll see you back in about 45-50 minutes. Alright, so how do I end? Where is it? Yeah? 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 Yeah, okay. Go. End.